Hello and welcome back to another edition of my Let's Play series. This time we see I am playing as Yithril, and I'm actually doing quite poorly. The AI, and this is on harder difficulty, so they're only getting about a 30% economic bonus, but I would say that they've doubled or tripled me in military strength. I had kind of a rough start because I'm not used to playing a solely warrior faction, and I might have made a few bad choices in that all of my cities are fortress, because basically what I wanted to see is, since I'm only paying 50% wages, what is the benefit, or the cost-benefit ratio of choosing one town to have basically infinite troops and lots of money, or trying to have just a whole bunch of really good troop producers. Basically what I found out is that I should have made my original city a Hilga. I should have made it a town. I made it a fortress, so it's got kind of bad production and isn't really contributing to my overall warrior strategy. However, it can produce a lot better, or slightly better units than my 2-4 city and my 3-3 city. So the other problem was that obviously the other AIs, almost all the other AIs, I should say, got a much better start than I did. So they were able to expand a little faster and really take advantage of their unique faction abilities, while I was sort of stuck in a slow start until turn about 150. I've also almost always been researching the military tree, which I am happy to say is much more viable in my version of the game. You need a few of the Tier 1 and Tier 2 civilization techs, but other than that, you can pretty much go straight for blacksmithing and then weaponsmithing to get the really nice Trog battle axe. So what I'm doing right now is, let's see, so I guess the first thing that you missed was there used to be a faction called Paradin, but I got them to surrender to me a few turns ago, and so now I have control of the former Queen Persephone, who I'm using for basically just a couple of spells, and then I'm going to use her for city defense. You can't really capitalize very much on a sovereign that you've taken, because they get such a terrible penalty. But I did take her city stone castle, which I'm turning into a fortress. Or I should say I'm turning it into a castled fortress to be my major defense. As you can sort of tell, there's a lot of red here. Let's see, Craxus, Altar, and Tarth are all at war with me. Craxus is at 543 faction power, Altar is 529, Tarth is 294, and I'm 180. Now, with that being said, I use my military much more efficiently, but in this version of the game, it doesn't matter how efficiently you use it. The enemy has higher level units, and they have archery, so I'm always at a disadvantage during battles, and it's starting to show. As you can see, all of my outposts that I had captured earlier have been taken, and there's a small army moving about up there. And then here's my main army, which can only have 6 units, and a few of them are damaged. I've got my backup units in here that are trying to heal up, and then Queen Persephone, who is immobilized. I think she died on her way back to my cities from where she started, which was down here or something. So you've got Cracks to the south. They have lots of soldiers coming from the east as well. You've got Altar, which is predominantly coming from this wildland to the north, and a few from the south there. Up to the north you have Tarth, who they haven't done a great job of attacking, but they did send one major force. But I sent my sovereign up here, and he was able to sort of crush them. So now I'm moving on their city here, which is Iriag, I believe. Hopefully Iriag will give me a nice economic boost. I did get the quest that gives you alchemy, which was nice because I was getting a huge amount of mana, but being Yithril, I don't really have a lot of magical uses in the early game. So I actually turned most of that mana into gold, which I then used to rush by some troops when I started to take off. So turning mana into Gildar, if you don't have a good Gildar base, because you're going all Fortress, can be a pretty solid strategy, really. Assuming that you don't have any other use for your mana. And that you can find that quest. I just kind of got lucky there. Also, I have a ton of shards. I've got 1 fire, 2 air, an earth, a water, and 2 death. So I'm sort of swimming in them. I had another fire shard down here, but I recently lost this ground. I'm going to need at least 2 alternating armies worth of units to keep this area, I can tell. As far as technology, we seem to be about par. I've only got 13 research per turn, but the only tech I really need is weaponsmithing and armor, so, or at least so far as I've played in the game. Those are the most important for a military race. So that's what I'm sort of shooting towards, and then I want to rely on very quick sieges to fuel the rest of my economy. Right, so I think this is pretty much a non-interesting turn. I just need to end turn. I think I'm playing from an autosave. Oh, but the reason why I thought I would sort of record this particular game is because I'm having a great time fighting against a competent AI. Now, I think that the faction powers are a little unrealistic because, I mean, quite simply, it should be taken into account that a human player is going to be twice as efficient with their units, but they've got more than twice the faction power that I do. Here's another siege battle happening. I've only got a fort in this fortress, so not as many units as I could have. But I do have an Earth Elemental, which certainly helps. This hero is trying to heal, so he's not going to be a part of the battle. Just cast Stone Skin on him. Alright, so let's see what they have. They've got, ooh, a really competent Cracks unit. These guys have been tearing me apart. The Spear Maiden with the Spear Shield combo, and their spear is the Ice Spear, which is very powerful in this version. So there's something I'm going to want to hit early and often. Bring my swordsman over here. Now, one thing I think I might nerf a little bit are these Darkling Warriors. They've got just huge amounts of health. I didn't realize that they were going to be group strength. I thought they were going to be party strength, so I may have overpowered them accidentally. But they, the problem is that they've got a lot of health, some pretty good armor. You'll see they're at 14 armor when defending. So they're doing a little bit too well during the mid-game. Plus, they can do good damage, which I didn't really want either. I wanted them to be sort of a, I guess I wanted them to be good damage but weak health, so that a competent military could take them out. But right now, my competent military is barely damaging them. See, these are the city militia units. They're pretty powerful in that they've got round shield and mace, but their initiative and movement so low that they don't really factor into most battles. The only time they're really good is if your army is out attacking something at the moment. So as you can tell, I'm going to hit their archers as soon as I can. The AI is doing a lot better job of using archers and keeping them at the back. But without the ability to set up where your units start, the AI is always going to be at a disadvantage there. See, I'm kind of moving past this Spear Maiden. Once you get them below half health, they get a ton of armor. See, he's at 35 armor now with leather on. but they're gonna fall pretty quick. I'm using the boar spear. See, I think it would be hard to argue that these city militia are too powerful for the vanilla game, with the ability to equip armor as well as weapons. Because simply, I mean, they're just mostly going to be in the backfield. They're only really going to matter when the city's empty. And even then, I mean, they don't have enough health to fight a level 5 unit. Of course, as I recall, the vanilla game doesn't allow you to train units above level 3, which is another problem. I'm hoping that gets fixed in Beta 5, but you never know. It's probably safer to assume it won't be fixed. Avoid disappointment. I need to start killing off these weaker ones so we can move my city militia in. So it looks like their Darkling front line is about to crumble. I can get in between now. And once you can surround a unit, you can really focus some damage on it. See, look how quickly that city militia's folding there. They wouldn't really stand up to a Darkling warrior. There we go. Adventurer's Boon might be a good idea. Of course, seeing Path of the Governor show up, wow. That's a pretty rare trait. Let's see, this unit is... oh, he has an injury, afraid of dying. He's Path of the Warrior. So there'd be a total of minus 20% unrest. I'm gonna take Adventurer's Boon. Alright, looks like there's a second battle happening. Hopefully there's fewer archers in this battle, because I could really lose... If that hero dies again, I think that's how he got his injury last time. He was healing in the city when I was attacked. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem. I need to pull him off the front line and just let the regular units do these battles. Although, it looks like I lucked out. They don't have... this is Altar, and they don't have any archers with them. They do have some burning axes, a mace, and wildings. Wildings are also a little bit overpowered. They've got better armor than a Darkling and a little bit more health. So I'm going to have to nerf them too. Alright, so this one I'm going to play a little bit more defensive. Just going to spread out a front line to get my city militia more involved in the battle. Plus these impalers are more so better for flanking than being the front line. I can bring out my earth tank. Hopefully they swarm. Looks like they're all going to pull to the left though. It's too bad. Oh, there, I got one to go right. So there's one of those AI mistakes where it decides to defend its position. Well, I might as well move up. See, I should be doing a lot more than about an 1/8 damage on that unit. Probably cut their HP by 30%. I'm a little bit worried about Shockwave because I think it hits my units too. Nope, didn't. Probably gonna add a knockback to Shockwave. Wow, they're just breaking right through that Earth Elemental. Hoping for a good bash on these mace attacks. Wow, actually, no, this Earth Elemental is working out nicely because it... it has a lot of HP, so all those significant hits it took barely brought it to 50%. That's good news. These Trog Berserkers are sort of my tank-type units. They've got the best armor and counterattack. So I always try to put them on the front or behind the enemy. But almost always in the middle. It's pretty necessary to have charge on all your frontline units. Otherwise they just sort of get irrelevant later in the game. to switch gears for a bit, now that I've got that wilding weaker. I want to go after these axemen here. See, again, all my city militia, it takes them so long to get another strike that they've become irrelevant again. Which is kind of perfect, because you don't want your city militia to be overwhelming the enemy when you've got a decent army in there. So really, I mean, the way it would work is if the enemy was winning the front line, well, then there'd be city militia behind my front line that they'd also have to deal with. But obviously they'd have an advantage too, because they'd get a lot more moves. But just the idea that your city militia are totally useless in the mid-game bothers me quite a bit. There's another one down. This kind of city defense is really powerful for Magnar. If they can take a city and then siege it, and then be besieged and just constantly take attacks like this, they get a huge population boost for that city. It's a really bad idea to attack Magnar, I learned. Well, when I was playing them. If you just attack them over and over and you don't win against the city, that city's going to be level 4 or 5 before you know it. They can get some ridiculous growth during wars. Alright, a solid 42 XP. A lot of my units are damaged, and there's a ton of, let's see, 2 more Altar, 3 more Altar armies, some stragglers from Krax. But I think what's happening is Krax is pushing west towards Timberkat, and Altar is really wanting Stone Castle. But the way I have it sort of managed right now, it's taking too long for the enemy to go north, I think, because there's a large forest here. So they aren't going to bother with that. Instead, they're going here through the roads, where I can set up a very strong defense at Timberkat, and then Ahilga, Al-Halin al-Hassan and Timberkat can all produce lots of troops, and then in the north I've got Safara, which is another strong producer of troops, but they're going to focus on this northern front. Of course, by the time I get through this forest, Tarth will probably have Iriad sealed up. Their ability to train powerful marksmen is really dangerous for city sieges. So here they're using the Ithwain longbow. It's only -4 initiative, so that's very strong in and of itself. But the fact that it does 14 attack means it's doing as much piercing damage as you can imagine, and it's doing it at about the same speed that a weaponsmithing type weapon might do. It's a low metal cost, so adding it together with leather and then getting things like fast, precision, and muscle really boost the danger level of these units. Which is why I brought 1 extra Trog Impaler with me for the siege afterwards, because I'm going to have to rely on getting there very quickly and wiping them out, since they are fairly lightly armored. But armored nonetheless. That's another big mistake with unit designs a lot of the times, is they don't have the even light leather defense that you would expect and need. So this army is ready to do battle, and I've got... oh, actually, that's a pretty powerful army there. So I'm going to weaken it. Oh, I'm almost out of mana. That's not good. See, I can cast Regeneration now, thanks to Persephone. I can cast Courage now, which is a minor boost, but still pretty good. Maybe I'll do a permanent Stone Skin on Poena. Let's see, so that's one Marksman. Lots of others. Oh, wow, and look at the tech priority for the AI is so much better now. For instance, Cracks here already has 8 units available in an army, so they can get 2 more units than I can. It's a big problem for me. I've got a splitter though, which is I've got 2 splitters, so my axe units, which are fairly strong. Let's check out the relative levels. The Guardian's weak. Their warriors are weak. That's a small army. They're pretty new to the game, looks like. A lot of level 1s and 2s. Is it not going to let me attack? What's going on here? Yeah, attacking is not an option. That's disappointing. That's kind of why I missed that there was like an attack button, although I don't think it would work any better. I wonder why it won't let me attack. Anyhow, I wish I could attack them, but I can't. So I'm going to hide in my city until they move. Oh, fun. So we've got that bug. I should have seen it before, but the turn is not going to continue because there's been more than one attack on a city. So I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, so I think I just had to reload real quick to get things started again. Let's regroup the army. Hopefully I can attack this time. Yes. Alright, this is the same turn, by the way. Alright, so... I stand... Let's see, do they have any archers? Yeah, they have 1 archer. Damn. Is Poena my fire mage? Doesn't matter, I've got 3 mana. Okay, so I have to rush the enemy, unfortunately. That's gonna hurt. But I gotta kill that archer as soon as I can. I'm in a terribly bad formation right here, and I'm sure the AI is gonna press the advantage on me. Yeah, because I set up their units to also have charge, which gives them a huge advantage right now. And since I'm charging, the Darklings even get a few early attacks that normally they wouldn't. But that's why you gotta bring archers to the fight. Get that advantage as much as possible. Okay, so here comes my big guns. This is my splitters. They always are good for a lot of damage because they have armor-piercing axes. I will eventually phase out the impalers in favor of splitters, but it's going to be a work in progress. Splitters just can't upgrade past what they are right now. I think this unit's blocked in, so I'll have to clear the way for my other one. Oh, and also I love this. They're using the extra unit types that I've added to the game. I mean, they're in the vanilla game, but let's be honest, they're useless in the vanilla game. So I've made them extremely useful, and therefore call them mine. But anyhow, the ogre here, he's just got a 34 attack, which means he'll get a pretty close to 20 attack, which means he has pretty close to 20% chance to bash. Given that, and that he's got armor just about at chainmail level, maybe a little bit less, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. In fact, I'm going to have those guys soon. It should be fun. You'll notice that I'm also taking my attacks on the ogre as much as possible. Oh boy, I should have realized this unit was being targeted and not put them in the middle of the fight. Yeah, I deserve that. It was reckless. But I really want to kill this archer quickly, so the rest of the battle can commence. There we go. I think that was their only bashing unit. And since I don't have mounted warfare quite yet, it's important for me to make sure that the enemy doesn't have it either. The other hard part about fighting cracks is they're going to completely bypass my counterattack advantage, because they're almost always going to be using spears and bows. See, I can take out that unit just about one hit with my splitters. There you go. See how much damage they were able to do to me just because they had one archer unit with them? That's the kind of unit composition I'd like to see in the vanilla. Alright. So I've got a lot of weakened units. I think my hero's pretty weak right now too. Yeah, 10 of 66. Let's see if I can... No, I can't get him to safety because there's too many enemy units on the road. And I don't have the good technology to build a scout unit. So let's just hope they don't attack again. In fact, it would be kind of cool if once you build the castle, your walls are unassailable, unless they have a catapult with them. Or if they cast a magical spell to break open the wall. Something like that would be nice, since we're not going to get proper wall sieging. They sent, looks like a couple of assassins to wipe out my hero here. This could be a problem. There you go. another attack on the settlement, which means I'm going to have to save and reload after this battle. Oh wait, possibly not, because it was two different factions. We'll see what happens. This is one of those major bugs that I would like them to fix. Alright, so I've got 4 units that can't charge, but they've got that archer there, so I'll move up on this side, hit their regular army, move in after that archer. Ooh, I didn't want to put the impalers in the middle. They don't have very good armor. That was my mistake. Another impaler. Well, since they're already there. Not bad. I really like where the boar spear is at right now. It's like the perfect trade between power and armor, because you don't get very good armor with it, but you can get a really great armor-piercing attack in there. Perfect for getting through leather. But if the enemy's got better weapons, you don't probably stand much of a chance past your first attack. Which is exactly how I want it. See, here's the city militia. They're not anywhere near the battle right now. Only 1 damage. They must be using shortbow. This must be their irregular army. They did have a couple of parties in here too. That usually means that they can't afford to, or just don't care to upgrade. See, I'm trying to move up past them so that I can get my city militia into the game. Into the fight. This isn't a game. Wildings are very consistent with their attacks. See, but this is the problem. The regular units are dead, and it seems like the wildings are always, and the darklings are always the last units to die. And it takes forever, and they get way too many hits in. So we definitely got to reduce their HP. need to get some of my splitters over here to trade out the large number of impalers I have going for me. I would like to be able to do a little bit better damage. And I've got plenty of these units that could easily go somewhere else to heal for a while. Specifically, probably my hero, until I can get a horse for him, which will make him much less vulnerable to arrow attacks. Stable's been destroyed. See, I got probably the end-turn bug again. Looks like I'm staying in the city. So the enemy's really gaining some ground quickly. It's almost enough to recall Warlord Verga's army. But I think taking Ariag overall would have a better effect. Yeah, they've got 3 archers. They don't have a hideout, which is good. Hideout is a unique Tarth building that gives them +2 archers for city defense. It's pretty powerful, actually, considering how efficient their archers can be. So this is a town, looks like, which is +1 material. I just don't think that that elemental's doing its job well enough. I'm gonna cancel it. Burning blades are pretty important. Stone skin, definitely important. That'll have to be it. Let's see how well they reinforce. So sorry, I forgot that the turn was going to do this. So I will save and come back in just a sec. Alright, let's try it again. I think, yeah, that's pretty much the end of my turn. We've got 3 Cracks armies and an Altar army coming in towards Timbrikat. Stone Castle's got a pretty solid defense, so they can be left on their own probably indefinitely. I guess we're gonna find out though. I'll auto-resolve that. Alright, so now they're attacking Timbrikat, which was a bad choice for them. They're way outnumbered. Oh, I see, maybe they want to kill Queen Persephone. Shrink, slow, stinking mud. I'm gonna go with slow. This will be nice to get rid of some of the more threatening archers. Oh, wonderful, I can get my splitters right up close and personal. After armor, I think I'm going to go for mounted warfare. I'd really like to see what a splitter can do when it's mounted. There we are. Why do they have 3 movement? Oh, there's no tooltip for movement. Interesting. Oh wait, here we go. Bonus for the army. So, Persephone must have Tireless March. Noble Legacy, Stone Skin. Tireless March, yeah. Nice. It's cool that she kept her spells from when she was queen. Even though she's just a lowly peasant now. Alright, so a second settlement attacked. This bug is starting to become an issue. I guess that maybe since the vanilla version doesn't even have city battles most of the time, or significant AI armies, it's never come up, or hasn't come up very often, that this problem with multiple attacks during one turn. It's kind of funny, if you don't think about it for too long. Alright, so I want to avoid those wildings and focus on that skirmisher. What did that unit die of? Oh, that's funny, they moved the Red Watch out of danger. Got a perfect flanking position now. Gonna really go after their defenders here. Hard choice to go after city militia. But it works out for me, so I won't complain. I guess I don't really see it like that. Plus, your city militia don't always respawn. Sometimes if they die during a turn, they don't come back till the next turn or the turn after. I'm not 100% on the mechanics of city militia, though, so I can't say why. Could just be a glitch. There we go. I've been waiting for a good bash on those units. I think it reduces their dodge by quite a bit. This must be a terrifying experience to be surrounded by an enemy and poked and stabbed at over and over. These guys are way too tough. Under attack again. Oh no, that was that attack. Wow, they're really coming at me. Still 3 cracks. I guess it's just an extra ogre and darkling. But that Joder Warbone's army could be very problematic. Let's see what their guardians look like now. Oof, dead eyes. All chain, so really not using any cutting weapons is going to be important. Well, then they have the advantage of going right through my armor with those, what are they called for these guys? The winged spear instead of the boar spear. It's only one-handed. It's gonna be a problem for me. And here comes Lord Relius. He might be fearsome at this point. Level 11. He's using a battle axe, some light armor. Wow, look at all those traits. So 1, 2, 3. He's a warrior assassin. That's just unfair. You know, I've been looking through the XML to try to figure out how to prevent the sovereigns from doing that, but there's just no way. He's got Bruiser. Pretty attack. Not bad. He's got Double Strike. Air 3, Fire 1. A second. Oh no, he's an adventurer, so that's starts at 3rd level, has 30 dodge, plus 2 moves. So we've got 5 moves on the battlefield. It's terrifying. He's got a counterattack. Counterattack with a battle axe is going to be difficult to overcome. And then, you know, of course, Acrobatic Master, which is plus 2 dodge per level. So, shoot, he's got 71 dodge. It's just an epic unit. There's plenty of archers in that field too. Wow, so we got 2, 4. So 2 turns I'll have an extra unit, 6 turns there, 2 turns there. That's gonna be a problem. Oh right, I can't attack again till... Sorry, I gotta keep on doing this pause thing.